Now, y'all know, I know for some of y'all may not know exactly how I utilize my platform, but I use my platform to speak upon the importance of utilizing your voice. And what I mean by that, because I attended Syracuse University, I got my bachelor's in broadcast and digital journalism, and finished my master's degree now in television, radio, and film. So I always thought it was essential that you come to understand the importance of media, and that's why I went into that realm. And as I'm starting to do more in-depth research, what I'm starting to understand is that you do become what it is that you watch. And that's one of the things that I really firmly do believe, whether you agree with me or not. And the reason why I say that is because I firmly believe that what you watch impacts how you think impacts how you behave, and how you behave plays a role in the configuration of your identity, which impacts not only how the world see you, but how you see yourself. And I want to break it down because I believe it extends beyond just that. When I say what you watch is also what it is that you consume, because it's not just what you watch, but also what you listen to. For what you watch and what you listen to impacts not only how you think, but how it is that you speak. The reason why many people ask me, Jordan, how do you speak so articulately? The reason why I know how to articulate my thoughts effectively is because of what I've seen. I watch a lot of speeches. I consume a lot of media where I hear people speak, and I watch different scholars talk, like James Baldwin, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, Kwame Ture, which was known as Stokely Carmichael, Angela Davis. These are speeches that I've listened to. I watched James Baldwin debate at William F. Buckley. So I watch various shows, and what I'm saying that to say is that through what I watch, there's times where I feel like there are people who articulate how I feel better than I could at that moment. And when I hear them say certain things, I then adapt their language. If I'm watching something like, nah, I like the way he said, I always felt that way, but I didn't know how to put it to words. You know, by show of hands, how many of y'all felt that way? And I know I'm talking now, but look. And I remember those times where I just didn't know how to effectively articulate my thoughts. But I've listened and consumed certain media. I'm like, I like the way he said it, so I adapted that language. You get me? So through adapting language, that's how my vocabulary started to expand. Because I listen to people speak. I listen to the vocabulary that they're using to articulate how it is that they feel, that assists me understanding my own experiences, and I adapt that language. So that's a prime example of how what I watch and what I listen to impacts how I think and how it is that I speak. Another thing, when I was growing up, we could speak to in 2012 when Chief Keef first dropped the first song that gave birth to drill rap. La Sosa, Rari, C-Roll, boy, we GB, though, boy. When I heard that song, I thought I was lit too. And in that moment, it fed something in my spirit. So what I watch impact how I thought, because at that moment, I thought, oh, streets, drill, this lit. And it wasn't. So that's prime examples. I'm using myself as a reference, because another thing when I'm starting to study media is understanding this thing that we call third person theory. I don't want you to talk about yourself in third person as if you two are like exempt from the influence. I'm influenced by media, believe it or not, from my waves to my part that I used to have. That was Nas. We gotta act. The clothes that I buy is through seeing different references within media, whether that's entertainers, artists, or scholars. Media too has a influence on who I am. You get me? So let's get to it. So boom. The first statement, I believe you become what it is that you watch, because what you watch impacts not only how you think, but how it is that you speak. I use 2 examples. The second part is how you think and how you speak impacts how you behave. I don't think I need to even explain that. We have to understand that as I'm learning, right, a lot of things that I'm learning about media is that media is just a tool that is used to communicate certain beliefs, certain thoughts, right? So we say that media is a conduit of communication, right? So now how does it impact how we behave? I believe that media also serves as like a social agent. So definitely today we see that youth are more inclined or that children are being raised on social media. In my household, I can see it. And when a child starts crying, we give them a device. In other households, I see it. When they start crying, we give them a device. So now the child is being raised by media. And why is that important? Why is that impactful? Because we have to understand what it is that they see is an introduction to what they feel like they can do and behave in. So when we see certain things in media, it gives us a portal or a reference into how we exist. And that's important to know, because it's only through watching certain things that we gain exposure. It's through seeing certain stuff that we start to understand, oh, damn, that people do that. So that is a behavior that we can embody. And whether we attempt to act as what we're seeing, we have to understand that some people that don't have that filter. A lot of people say, nah, media don't, I can see it, I just see it as entertainment. Why that may be true for you, we have to understand that some people that at a certain age cannot decipher what entertainment reality is. A lot of us think reality TV is reality TV when it's scripted. So we have to understand the influence. And I don't want to say in a minute that I'm not influenced, because there's time where I watch media again and I have been influenced. So I'm saying to you is that media then impacts how you behave, because some of the things that you see becomes a part of your reality. Things that you then can think about. There's times, matter of fact, I use an example. They have this thing called the doll experiment. A lot of people talk about it. It was an experiment held in the 90s, in the 1900s. And a sociologist, he put together this project where he had black children and white children choose what dolls they felt was the most beautiful, who was the most positive. And most times the white child will pick the white doll and the black child will also pick the white doll. But while we see that experiment, none of us ever asked the question, what is it that conditioned these children to have these beliefs? But it's what they were seeing. Based on what I've seen in media, conditioned me to also not only see others in a certain manner and create preconceived notion of those I never talked to, but it also conditioned me in a manner to which I see myself. Right? So I said, what you watch is what you become, because what you watch impacts how you think, which impacts how you behave, becomes a part which plays a role in the configuration of your identity. What do I mean by that? How media plays a role in influencing my identity. I'm going to speak from my first reference. I went to an all-boys school entitled Eagle Academy. And never have I been jumped. Never have a group of black people ever caused any harm to me. None of the above. But I remember my first time going to Eagle Academy, an all-boys school, it was about like 50 young men in front of the school. And I was so scared. I'm like, yo, why is it? I feel like they might jump me. They might hurt me. I don't think we should walk up the stairs. I was with my stepfather. But as we walked through the step, or started to approach this group of young men, they was warm welcome. They said, yo, how y'all doing? What up? Y'all good? And right then and there, I began to understand that media too has conditioned me to see my people in a certain light. Because there's some things that we have never experienced, yet we have been conditioned to have a preconceived notion of how certain things are going to play out that we have never experienced. I just told you, never have I ever been jumped by a group of people. Never have a group of black people cause me harm. So why is it that I have this notion that whenever I see a group of black men, as a reflection of myself, I see danger? How is it some people have never had an experience upon something, but have a notion of how it's going to play out? That's important to understand. And that's why I wanted us to understand. I don't learn to speak about myself in third person. I want you to know that I too was impacted by it. And it impacted my identity. I started to then have a configuration of my identity as a person that I attached blackness with criminality at a time. And I had to recondition myself, to ask myself, who is it that conditioned me to believe this? Where did I get these thoughts from? And that's what I mean by media plays a big role on who it is that you become or the characteristics you begin to embody. And then music, because I can't leave out the listen. That's important. I say, when one of my mentors named Rashidi Denson, he said, music is the only thing that has access to your spirit without your consent. What he meant by that? You could be walking down a block and hear a song. And media is a spiritual thing, because you are communicating an emotion to a manner which you want to evoke another emotion, an individual that may not understand you, but through articulating your experiences should be able to feel it on an emotional, spiritual basis. So what you listen to has a big role on your psychology, how you think, and your sociology, how you behave, human interaction. There's times where we all listen to songs we felt like, yeah, oh yeah, we in the gym, you listen to a certain song that gets you motivated for the gym. That's a prime example of how listening to certain music channel a certain energy. So why do you think that listening to certain music don't have that impact outside of the gym as well? When I want to study, I put on a certain type of music. When I'm feeling sad, I put on a certain type of song. So we too understand how music relates or plays a role in evoking a certain emotion. So what I'm saying is what you listen to also impacts how you behave. Absolutely, because it impacts your thoughts, and your thoughts translate into behavior and acts play a role in your identity. So what I want us to know is that I want you to become more attentive to what it is that you watch. And why I'm saying that is because I think a lot of people are in this transition and you want to evolve. But I believe that first step of evolve is not just determining who it is that you want to be, but also defining or filtering what it is that you consume. Because what you want to do is change your thoughts. For everything else is just a manifestation of how you think. They said a man is as he thinketh. So what I first want to do, if I want to change a man, to change his thoughts. And how do I change your thoughts? The first getting to define who it is that you want to be. But the second thing is to change what it is that you consume. For what you consume impacts how you think. Right? So that's what I want to break down. I want us to become more cognizant and more aware of the impact of what we consume and has on who we are. right? So that's my breakdown for today. But I want y'all to know that you do become what it is that you watch. And not saying that you become it in full, but you begin to embody some of the characteristics of what it is that you're consuming, right, by nature. And it opens up a portal of things that you probably did not have exposure to, but through watching it, it became now part of your mind, which then become a part of reality, right? So you get subscribe to the channel, you're gonna see me start breaking down certain things that's happening in the media that I believe is important for us to understand and be more attentive to. So this is Jordan Pierre, this is our channel. We're gonna have some podcasts coming up. We're gonna have some more conversation dialogue. So I look forward to y'all following the channel, following the village, and let's get it rocking.